What's up, Flick Connection? This is Darren, here to help you get more out of movies, and today I want to give you what I think are the funniest movies currently available on Netflix. Now, humor is super subjective, but so are a lot of things, so I think we can kind of agree that most of these movies are pretty funny. I think there will be a couple of things on here maybe you have not seen, so you get some of those recommendations, and then some others that you maybe are not even aware are currently on Netflix. I am not going to cover any stand-up specials because humor is already subjective enough. I really don't want to get into just straightforward stand-up comedy, but there are some amazing stand-up shows on Netflix right now. But as far as movies go, we're going to kick the list off fairly strong with a Bill Murray movie a lot of people missed called St. Vincent. Now, this one also has Melissa McCarthy in it. Now, essentially what this movie is Bill Murray plays this curmudgeoned old man, and a single mother and son move in next door, and Bill Murray kind of reluctantly gets saddled with sort of watching the kid when he comes home from school, and they just kind of form this interesting bond. He's kind of a father figure, but not a very good one. Bill Murray's funny. The movie's kind of heartwarming and just kind of fun to watch. Bill Murray is always fun to watch on screen. If you're a fan of his and you sort of skip this movie because it didn't seem very funny, watch it. Don't expect it to be just a side splitter, but he's great in it. He's funny throughout, and it is a good, well-rounded movie. If I'm recalling a couple of scenes, this is not one for the kids.
Why is he mowing your dirt patch?
I'm showing him how the world works. You work, you get paid, you drink.
Are you drinking alcohol?
I honestly don't remember.
Number 9 is actually a Netflix original called Mindhorn. I thought this one was really funny. I think people who like Curb will like this. The characters are not like anything that's in Curb, but I feel like it's got a very similar aesthetic where awkward situations, it is cringe comedy, it's British, and it's just about an aging actor who's no longer in his prime and is really feeling it, and it's just kind of fun. It feels original to me. I'm not sure if it's based on something in the UK. If you had it there, or this was one that came out in theaters there, let me know in the comments below. I know there's some of you watching, but I thought this one was funny. I'll say this one's one of the more subjective ones on the list, in that not everyone's gonna find that type of humor funny. Number 8 is The Men Who Stare at Goats. Now, I was really excited for this when it came out. I thought it was going to be like the new Big Lebowski kind of a thing, and it's not. It was a letdown because I had high expectations, because it's got an incredible cast. It's an interesting story about a real outfit in the military about men who stared at goats. What they essentially were trying to do was tap into or harness some sort of mental powers like remote viewing, and this movie is just sort of this weird comedy sort of based on it. It's fun though. Had it been maybe cast differently and done on a smaller budget, it'd be one of those movies that a lot of people talk about. If you missed this one and you like those sort of weird kind of military movies, this one's a must. You've probably seen it already though. Number 7, Lethal Weapon. It's one of the better movies on the list. It definitely deserves a better spot than 7, but it's not the funniest movie because it's an action comedy. It's a classic. They made 4 of them. They're all pretty good. The original is just really great. It's fun to watch. This is one that I end up watching once every couple of years, and it's always engaging. Mel Gibson's really funny in it, regardless of your thoughts on him now, but they play well off of each other, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm not going to go on forever about Lethal Weapon because it's the one everyone has seen on this list, but let's move on to something that maybe you haven't seen. At number 6, another star-studded cast, but a lot of people skipped Masterminds, and it's one of the newer ones on the list. Now, this was directed by Jared Hess, who's famous for Napoleon Dynamite. I've actually hated everything he's put out after Nacho Libre, and if you're wondering what he created after Nacho Libre, that's because the movies were so terrible nobody has seen them. But Masterminds is pretty funny. Now, it's got Owen Wilson in it. Zach Galifianakis is hilarious in it. There's just a really odd premise, really odd humor. It's fun. If you feel like you were maybe above this movie, and the only reason I word it like that is because I definitely felt that way, you need to give it a shot. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. Number 5 is another one I'm sure a lot of people missed, and that's Bernie. Now this is a Richard Linklater movie, and he's done some incredible movies. This one kind of got forgotten about, but Jack Black essentially plays a guy who gets involved in a relationship with an older woman, and she just is really abusive to him, to the point that it just drives him literally mad. And now this is based on a true story, and some of the people are actual people from the town where this event occurs, and the story sort of leads up to it. But because it's Linklater, it's got this really cool human quality. The people feel real. Some of them are real. It's a kind of a documentary style where it's a narrative story, but then it jumps back to people just talking to the camera, people that knew the couple. It is a dark comedy, I'll go ahead and say that, and I think it's probably the darkest one on the list. For something much lighter, we'll go with Captain Underpants. This is the most family-friendly movie on the list. Not for real little kids, probably, depending on how uptight you are as a parent, but this one's really funny. I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if girls will get it as much, just because it is a lot about like how boys like to play pranks, tease each other. It's just kind of fun. I've watched it a couple of times with my son. I laugh throughout the entire thing, and I think that's what's really important about a comedy. Fair warning though, a lot of the humor is toilet-based humor. Number 3, Beerfest. I've had it on a list recently. It's a funny movie. If you like Super Troopers, this one's a must-watch. I'm surprised it's taken so long to get a sequel to Super Troopers, but with that coming out soon, you'll want to watch Super Troopers. I know everybody owns at least one copy of that movie. Even if you didn't buy it, it's probably in your DVD collection. And then you can watch Beerfest too. It's just as funny in my opinion, and just not as talked about as much, but I'll probably watch Beerfest and then go check out the new Super Troopers sometime in the theater. Who knows, maybe I'll do a video on that one as well. And number 2, we're back with Bill Murray with Ghostbusters. Just a classic movie. Everyone loves it. It's a shame they ruined it with the remake. They do that crap all the time. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with going back and rewatching Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 1 and 2 are currently on Netflix. I recommend checking them out. They're not going to be there forever, so watch them while you can. But these are just so fun, especially if you've got kids that are old enough that aren't going to be freaked out by the ghosts and stuff. They'll love this one. You don't just have to go with what's new. Just go back and revisit these old movies. They're really good. And they're good for a variety of reasons. One being Bill Murray, who was at number 10 on the list. He's at number 2, and he's also in the number 1 movie, Caddyshack. Now, Caddyshack, if it feels like a letdown at that being number 1, Caddyshack and Animal House are among the most heavily debated movies in terms of which one's the funniest movie ever made. I don't know personally that I think Caddyshack is the funniest movie ever made, but man, I can't think of a time that I've watched it or part of it and have just not been laughing hysterically throughout. It's just one of those movies you're sort of overexposed to, so you feel like you don't want to watch it. If it's been a couple of years since you saw Caddyshack, you will watch it and you will laugh throughout this entire movie. But I will keep making these videos as long as you keep watching them. Thanks for watching this one, and you will see me next time.